What's up, you guys? Welcome, welcome. New episode. Just so we're clear, my name is Hanli, and my co host over here is.
Marissa True. Hi. Hello. How are you all this evening slash morning slash wherever you are on the planet?
So, a little bit of a check in. I'd say I'm doing okay. It is a Sunday night here in Mexico City. My fiance and I just had a really refreshing, resetting staycation this weekend. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready to get into this episode today.
I mean, I'm the same. Obviously, I'm 14 hours ahead being back in Singapore. And I had a super restful weekend as well. I'm on a Monday morning, so my week is full of potential. There's a whole bunch of things I want to accomplish. Will I? We don't know. To be decided, to be confirmed. But yeah, feeling good.
So, as you guys can tell, this is a pretty special episode because for this episode, we teamed up with the coolest client ever, Bumble. Even just saying that, Bumble. Bumble, and just so we're clear, we're doing this collaboration. They hit us up a few weeks ago and they wanted to introduce us to their relaunch. And they talked us through their cool vision of how they wanted to do a relaunch for the app and how they really wanted to center it around being female first. They wanted to create the app to be even more favoring for the ladies. And so, obviously, knowing us, knowing what this podcast is about, and also knowing you, our audience, we instantly were like, hell yeah, let's do this. Let's talk about dating and let's revisit these old stories of what it was like to be online dating.
So, I mean, what better way to revisit the glory days of when we were single and going out and meeting new people than having the opportunity to re-download a dating app? So I actually met my partner through Bumble. So this was super exciting for me. But also, doing this on behalf of research for scientific purposes was so fun. So much fun.
And also for me, you guys know I have a fiance. So joining it's almost like entering a realm I never thought I would enter again. You know, like he put a ring on it. I thought this was all behind me. And this time it was literally so research purpose that like my profile bio was just here for research, which I actually think could also be a pretty good bio. You know, if people were to swipe on me, like, oh, she's here for research. What does that mean?
Well, it was better than my former bio, which was I'm here for the money.
Oh
So
my God. That's amazing. So we both got on FaceTime with each other. We pulled up our phones and we both signed up to Bumble once again. And the experience was fun. It was so cool to check out the new features. Now, Marissa, you're more familiar with Bumble versus me because you
yes.
met your partner on it. So, what was it like for you to revisit the old dating grounds?
Oh, it's that whole feeling all over again of just limitless possibility. Like, oh my God, I could meet anyone on here. But at the same time being like, oh, I really remember what online dating was like. And
Mm.
there is such highs and lows to online dating. And like, I was definitely one of those people who would download the apps, delete the apps, download the apps, delete the apps, and just like equal measure of like optimism and just absolute frustration. And I think it was
Mm.
because there's nothing like doing all of this work on yourself and being so ready to present it to the world and to not be able to convey that same energy through a digital format like a dating app. It's fatiguing, it's tiring. And so what I think is really cool about what Bumble have added as new features is it sort of alleviates a lot of that burden of like how you want to portray yourself and kind of kicks things off in a much smoother fashion. So you don't feel like it's this huge effort to try and put yourself out there. So what they did was, and this is, if I was dating now, I would be using this all the time. They introduced this feature called opening moves. So as you guys might or might not know with Bumble, it is on us as the women to create the opening move. And let's be honest, not that many of us are used to being that person in the dynamic. We kind of will like bat our eyes and stare across the room and wait for the guy to make his move, make his opening line, like hit on us. And so for an app to basically say, no, now you're in the driver's seat. It's a new feeling, and it can sometimes be a little bit intimidating. But what opening moves does is basically allow you to preset a question. So when you match, your profile automatically sets out something for the other guy to answer, which I think is, oh, it's so helpful.
It's almost like having a bit of an olive branch to help the situation. Also, let's talk about that for a second because there's so much to unpack, even from the intent and like the awareness to of where women come from when it comes to dating, to add that into a dating app, right? Like for women, you mentioned the word fatigue. And I know that guys feel this as well, but let's just like speak on behalf of the girls, right? Like dating is fatiguing. Like it's tiring, right? Like to balance having our own lives and then to balance showing up as a good sister, a good friend, a good daughter, all the roles in the relationships that we have, and then to show up for ourselves, to do the work and continuously glow up. We're eating healthy. We're going to therapy. We're journaling. We're being mindful. Like there's so much on an individual's plate all the time. So to then like kind of become a bit of a show pony and get ready
Yes.
to present this ready version of yourself, um, it's a lot.
It is so much.
Mm,
And the worst part is even if you show pony yourself and you would give yourself a 12 out of 10, and then to be met with like this lackluster, like, oh hey, and just no effort coming back, you're like, God damn.
I
Like
know. It's like
it's
getting really dressed up for a night out and then like the two conversations of someone who's even a potential prospect, it's like, hey, hi,
yeah,
empty.
yeah,
Yeah.
you waste the outfit. There's no one
Ah,
even took a
you
picture of
waste the
you.
makeup.
You
You
waste the
waste the
makeup.
effort. You waste the growth. Like all that work. And what did it get me? Um, yeah, so I think a lot of people can resonate with that feeling. And also what you touched on is the interesting but also just sort of widely accepted knowledge that it's just different. I'm not going to say hard. It's different for women to make the first move. Like
Hmm.
even outside of a digital world, like thinking on my single years or my single era, the times where I did make the first move. Like I when I think about that right now, I don't know if I really did. Because I think it's just such a thing that was just so, it was like so daunting, so scary. Like, and I'm not saying make the first move as in like you're not going to introduce yourself. You know what I mean? Like, make the first move, like hit on, like that.
Yes.
It's just, it's a hard thing to do. And I especially think maybe in our Asian conservative culture for women as well, maybe it's even harder because of that added level, you know?
I think we're definitely used to letting the men take the lead. And like we'll do everything to line it up. Like we'll convey all the right signals. Like I said, you'd bat your eyelashes, like you'd look super cute, you'd make eye contact across the room. But that doesn't happen in a digital format. Like that doesn't gonna happen
Mm.
on the dating apps. Then you're just sort of silently waiting for them to hopefully say hi. And so I think I think it is super empowering to basically encourage women to take control, but it is such a behavioral adjustment. And there's
Mm.
nothing worse than putting yourself out there for the first time by making that first move and then not getting that like the
Well,
reward for putting
there's so
yourself
much
out there.
pride. Like, there's so much pride behind that as well.
Yes,
And
because
also, like men traditionally are more used to rejection.
and women
Women
are
don't.
not.
Yeah, we're not. Like, how many times when a guy makes a move on a girl is he rejected? Like in his life, like, come on,
So
they
for
just
a
have to
dude, it's
kind
a
of
numbers
shrug it
game.
off. Yeah,
For a guy,
exactly.
it's so much more of a numbers game. And for us, we're like, this will make or break my entire life.
Yeah, I'm gonna grip
No,
my fists hard and try. For some of us,
so
yeah.
I will say though that in my life, I went through phases of this, but I think I actually got quite bold about learning how to make the first move. And listen, I definitely got rejected. a good few times. And I was like, me? But look at me. Of course I got rejected. Like, not everyone is interested in what I had to offer. But it did teach me a little bit about like not only building a skin in this, but also just understanding the ways in which I guess men operate in a funny kind of way.
Mm,
And like, did I like getting rejected? Absolutely not. Was it a learning experience? For sure. But I would say, again, like bringing this back to dating apps, sometimes the rejection isn't even someone saying, I'm not interested. It's just them not matching your energy in your chat. And that is
mm-hmm,
so tiring because then you're like, how
mm,
many of these conversations before I find someone I actually want to meet outside of the app? Like, how
mm-hmm,
many before I actually go on a date? Many guys will try expedite that first part. Like, I think women, we love the conversation. We love kind of getting the gauge of the person we're speaking with, kind of understanding their vibe, and then getting a sense of what our potential date could be like. We love that imagining scenario sort of component of it all. While guys are very much like, I'm here to meet someone that I will meet up with pretty quickly. It's very hard to like get someone to just engage with you. Take it slow. Let's feel each other out a bit before we meet in real life. Well, guys are like, dinner
mm.
now, drinks now, and you're like, ugh. We're just on different wavelengths when we use the apps, I think.
That's so true. That's so true. And actually, I think that in every woman's life, in every girl's life, she should make the first move, whether it is online or in person. Because
Oh my
actually,
god.
when I think back at the time that I did, like in my like coming out of a old relationship, like that single era where suddenly everything is intimidating again because you're so sensitive. When I did make that first move, it was so empowering. And even
Mm.
though, like in my experience, like the move, like the hookup ended up being terrible, and it was like one of the most cringiest things of my life. True
Mm.
story. Ugh, even thinking about it now gives me anxiety. The memory of, but that was my decision, makes
I
it a
did this to
little
me.
better.
I actually I vividly remember the first time I made the first move, and it was when I was 16 years old. And to this day, nothing felt more alienating than that moment. So, if anything, I got the worst out the way that any other time I made the first move, I was like, this doesn't even scratch the surface of how bad it was in the beginning. Because I told a boy I liked him and he made fun of me
Oh, no.
when I was 16 years old. And I told him on the phone and I was so
No.
mortified that I was like, it's okay. I have to go and do my homework now. And I hung up the phone. And I had multiple classes with this boy. I had to face him, and I genuinely would just stare at the ground and not engage because I was humiliated. And it was only about 6 months later that he actually ended up calling me on the phone, apologizing and telling me that he actually felt the same way. And
Oh,
by that point, I was so far done with this entire experience that I was like, you could have had this 6 months ago. It's too late now.
missed
Empowering. We turned
connection.
that round.
Empowerment.
Rejection. You reject me. I reject you.
Oh, how cute. But hey, let's bring it back to the literal opening moves of the Bumble app. Let me pull up the app. Let me share with you guys. And let's go through this. Let's go through this. So, for example, guys, this is what we mean by having the opening moves on your terms, right? You can either create an opening move question by yourself, or you can choose one of the suggested ones on the app. So, for example, it's stuff like, what does your perfect weekend look like? Or what's your ideal first date? Or this one, Marissa, what's your karaoke song?
Ugh. So, okay, first of all, guys, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I hate karaoke. I am terrified of karaoke. It is my most irrational fear. But I do have a karaoke song, and that is Sweet Dreams by Eurythmics. Each and every time.
Ooh,
It's my
okay.
favorite song to belt.
Okay. Mine is Shania Twain. Man, I feel like a woman.
Of course it is. Okay,
Okay,
this
you
is no,
you
this is
ask.
cute.
Yeah,
We
you
should go
asked
through
me
these
one.
questions. Okay. My God. My favorite has to be What's one song you hope to never have to hear again?
Okay, and hear me out. I really hate the birthday song.
Just happy birthday?
I just like happy birthday to like I
The
hate
world's
it.
worst
I
song.
hate it with a passion. I think it is the most I think there is nothing more cringe than like grown ass people standing around in a sober circle like monotone singing happy birthday to one person. Like just the scenario and I know it happens to each and every one of us and if you're with me then you are with me. But I think it's time as a collective we chose a new song for happy birthday. That's it.
I
That's my
agree with
song.
you. I rest in the knowledge that like non-English versions of Happy Birthday have different tunes,
Oh,
and that makes it a little better.
a
But
little
I do
better.
agree with you. There's nothing more soul destroying than sitting waiting for the song to end and trying to pretend that you're thinking of a wish before you blow out your candles.
I'm just waiting for it to be over.
It's the bit that ruins your birthday. So I think this is a good choice.
I know.
I
Yeah.
have a slightly controversial
Okay.
one. Do you remember when Justin Bieber came out with that song Peaches?
Yes.
I hated it.
What?
I hated it. I could not
I got my
understand.
peaches down in Georgia. Da, da, da. No?
Oh, it was
Wow.
it just like I can see like sparkles in my head for like the migraine that's coming thinking of that song. Like they played it every half an hour in every shop in every mall in every car on every radio station. I was like, I hate this song.
Oh my God. I had
Like
no idea you were so passionate about that one.
no shade to Justin Bieber, but all I remember is every time there's a song that just like it causes that little twinge in the back of my neck. It is a Justin Bieber
You know
song.
what? Since we're talking about songs I hate, one more, just one more.
Okay.
Hoobastank, The Reason. It's
Hoobastank was the
terrible.
very first concert I ever went to, and I will defend them till death.
That's hilarious because that actually would have been one of my opening moves. That would have been one of the questions to gauge people with like, how lame were you back then? Or how
Super
cool
lame.
were you back then?
No,
I
it
feel
was
like it
never
says a lot
cool.
about a person and also says a lot about their age if you wanted to find out how old someone was real quick.
But the other thing that you would be able to gauge from this sort of question, if you were to send it to a guy's, I think in a dating or a flirting scenario, you kind of want to like drop a song that makes you sound unique or like makes you sound
Oh, right.
interesting or
I'm
cool. And you're like,
different.
yeah, you're like, oh, it's, I don't know, the untitled track from Tom York's secret Radiohead album that was unreleased in
Oh my God.
1987, or something just like really niche.
No, no, no. We are not those people. I'm basic to the bone and I'm
You'd be like
proud of it.
Taylor Swift.
Actually, Shania Twain was my first album. Anyway, we're getting distracted. I'm going to come back to more of these opening moves questions. Oh, okay. Actually, I feel like I'm dating you right now. This is so hilarious.
We're together. We're not
I
dating.
actually know the answer that you have for this question.
Okay.
I'm going to test my friendship with you. How many episodes of a series is accept no, how oh, I misread it. How many episodes of a series is acceptable to watch in one sitting? I misread it. I thought the question was how many episodes of what series can you watch in one sitting?
Okay, let's go with your question because mine would easily be The Office.
Yeah, exactly. I knew you were going to say The Office. I'm like anything with a TV show relation question. Marissa's answer is The Office.
It's the greatest show ever made for television, ever.
Those who like, actually, that's a pretty good opening moves question.
Yeah, because what if they're like, I don't know, Breaking
Big
Bad?
Bang Theory. Oh,
Oh no, Big Bang Theory to me is a red flag.
Young Sheldon.
No, any Big Bang Theory or spin-off, I think we have no duty dating each other.
No,
Because I
we should. The
fundamentally disagree with your tastes and therefore your value system.
opening moves. It's closed. The move is
Yeah,
closed.
I would
Done.
unmatch then and there.
Okay, you ask me one, and then share with me, or maybe ask me the question that would have been not on the list. Like, what was your custom opening moves question?
Okay, so if I was setting my own opening move, it would be, what is your zombie apocalypse plan?
God, dude, you know mine. We I think we've actually argued about this.
Do I?
My plan is to walk out the door and get bitten instantly. I'm
Okay,
not
yes, this
trying to
plan.
survive a zombie apocalypse.
This plan. Okay, so okay, I do remember this because that's not a plan. That's an
Yeah, my
anti-plan.
plan. No, that my plan is no plan. My plan is to join the mass. My plan is
No,
to zombie.
your plan is not to join the masses. Your plan is to resign. Like you have no survival instinct. You're like, you know what? This is not the vibe. I didn't sign up for a challenge. I didn't
No,
come here to do things on hard. I'm
no,
a peace out.
exactly. I don't want to eat dehydrated food. I don't want to have to go like scavenge and kill.
Okay.
No,
Okay, but for the purposes of this scenario, imagine you're a guy.
sure.
How are you going to protect me? That's why I'm asking you this question.
Ooh, okay. Ooh, but wait. Okay, so you're looking for like, how is my masculine macho man gonna save
Yeah,
me?
I want to hear
Mm,
that you've thought about this and you have like you've switched on your little survival mode and you know exactly what's up and you're going to lead us to safety because I don't want to be in that scenario looking at a man and being like, "Why would you choose to eat all the beans in the first day?" Because I know what my plan is. And so I need to find someone or I would need to find someone who is compatible with that plan or understands the approach,
I see. I see. Actually, this is a really good technique. This is almost
right?
Roman Empire worthy. Like, this is like, are
That would
you
be a
going
good
to
question.
protect
What's
me?
your Roman Empire?
What? That is a good question. That is, well, this is it. How would you protect me in a zombie apocalypse?
Yeah. And if you're just like every man for themselves, I don't think we gonna be together.
Listen, if my man said to me, let's like have a party, hold hands, and walk out together, that's my man. That's my man.
No, I'm trying to think of like what my partner would say.
Listen, I've watched all the movies, okay? It never ends well. There is no fun zombie apocalypse where the humans like have a great time. I'm not trying to live that life. I don't need like I'm good. I'll like live stream my exit. I'm good.
Live stream your exit. Be like, hey guys, welcome to my Instagram. Get ready with me as I leave the house and meet the zombies for the first time.
Outfit for my zombie, what's it?
I chose this
Registration.
cotton t-shirt because it's easy to tear, so it's gonna really give me that rugged zombie vibe. Like cargo pants for the pockets.
These gold hoops are really lightweight. So, you know, if you want to eat the ear, it just comes off. It's fine.
I
So
wore my
stupid.
Skims just to like slimline this look.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a sausage. Oh, we are having fun with this. All right, guys. Well, I think you got the gist. Go
Wait,
on,
wait, wait,
have
wait,
fun
wait,
with
wait.
it.
But
Wait.
what would your impromptu question be?
Oh, who was your true first TV crush?
John Smith from Pocahontas.
Girl, I knew it. Cause same.
It was
Something
either
about that
that,
white boy.
it was that or Eric from The Little Mermaid. He was also cute.
No, actually, if I'm being totally honest here, it was Peter Pan.
Ew.
Yeah.
He was like a little party boy. No, no.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we could have a whole psychology breakdown about like who we are and the men we choose by our TV crushes.
Okay, like segue to a slight Disney theory. Like when you're a young girl, John Smith is your guy. When you are like a grown ass woman, Cocoam is your guy.
Obviously.
Man. With the
Obviously.
little handprints on his chest, taking care of
Obviously.
Pocahontas. Oh, he would have a zombie apocalypse plan. He technically did, except the zombies were like colonizers, you know?
Oh my God. He did. He just wanted to help.
He just, oh, bless him.
We're curious, guys. What would your opening move question be? Genuinely, send it in. And then also, please answer ours. Like, who was your TV crush? Don't leave us hanging here. And what's your zombie apocalypse plan?
So that's the magic of opening moves, is that you can either use a pre-selected question or come up with your own, and that whenever you match with a guy, he's automatically going to be prompted with this question so that he can answer it. And that's going to kick off your conversation, which I think is a way smoother entry into getting to know each other on an app. And hopefully it sets the precedent for like a fruity conversation before you guys get to eventually decide if you want to take it off the apps and meet in real life.
Yeah, and to those who are experiencing the said before sense of fatigue around this, maybe this can, you know, rejig your perspective to bring a little bit more fun and casualness to meeting people online. So I think a lot of girls have their like TV crush ready because we all know who it was. And I think like when girls share their TV crushes, we're like, "Oh, we get it." But like what would it say about a guy when they share their TV crush? For example, right? Like, what if their TV crush was like a princess? Like the princess of, what if it was like Sleeping Beauty?
Be like, you just like them tired all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like, what if it was like,
Like an actual actress, non cartoon that you just look nothing like.
oh my, oh.
Like, I remembered one time a guy told me, and he was my crush at the time, that his idea of a dream woman was Sienna Miller. And I was like, nah, I don't hit any of that brief.
I think, yeah, I think it's a good way of weeding because I think girls already know who our crushes were. I wonder if it's the same for guys.
Guys, I could be wrong. We must consult with our men about this. But I think guys are just like, it's like a binary. It's like, I would or I wouldn't, you know?
Mm.
Like, it's not even like, oh, I love this thing about them. And like, that's really cute, but I love this about someone else. It's very much like, yes, no.
Mm.
While
I
women
think
are like, but is he funny?
no, because the girls, like, even back then, we'd be like, oh, like, he was so, like, charming and funny and, like, cute. And, like, I think for the dudes, it'd be like, oh, she was hot.
Okay, because let's be real. How many times, and I know I'm guilty of this, is when someone says, show me a picture, you're like, he doesn't take good photos. Because, guys, like, talk about building a dating profile. As women, we know what makes us look good. We all know what it is to build out our dating profiles. Like, we'll have something that's a little bit thirst trappy. We'll have something that alludes to our interests, something that highlights different dimensions or our character profiles, so that when someone sees it, they can be like, oh, she's outgoing. She loves to travel. She's also hot. While a guy is just like, here's me flexing in the mirror. Here's me picking up weights. Have you seen this latest fish that I caught? I think men need a lesson, and perhaps we can give this to them one day, on how to build a dating profile that are for women.
What kind of images should they be sharing?
Okay, so this is going to be so cliche, but I'm a sucker for when a guy clearly looks like he's good with kids.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
just hold a
Okay.
baby as a prop, but if you have a
Mm,
candid photo of you playing with your nieces and nephews or whatever, that's that's a winner all around.
mm,
If you are athletic, don't take a bathroom selfie of you flexing your abs as hard as possible in the mirror. Show me something like, did you run a race? Is there a photo of you on the beach where you just happen to look physically very good? Like, there's so many different ways without you being so literal about being like, hey, look, I'm hot. See? Do you know
mm,
what I'm saying?
For me, I love someone who is well traveled or loves adventure. So like
Yes.
images of you in gorgeous scenery in nature and like or maybe like not like you don't have to be in like a massive landscape or just like something to acknowledge like the beauty of nature that for me speaks
Hmm.
volumes about a person.
Because again, you're showing us your values, you're showing us your interests, you're showing us
Mm.
things that, being on the other side of the equation, and especially in a medium like Bumble where we are to make the first move, give us material to work with. Give us hooks through the content you put up for us to respond to. Because I'm not going to ask, what type of fish is that? I don't care. How long did it take you to catch it? Was it heavy? Like, it's a fish, my guy. Put it down. Like,
Did you
what are your
eat it
family
after?
values?
Actually, my biggest question was how did it taste?
They're not going to cook it.
Well, we
If they
don't
do,
know.
see, then if they say, yeah, I actually cooked it and it tasted great over an open campfire, great. That's attractive. You're adventurous and
Mm.
resourceful. Also, big no no for me, though I'm sure it works with some people. Don't flash your car and your fancy watch and just be like, oh, look, I'm
Are people
rich.
still doing that?
They are. And stop it. Just stop it. Stop it.
When we were doing the back and forth opening moves, actually it kind of reminded me of when my partner and I started to get to know each other, because we would be playing games, or we would be like asking these like questions back and forth, and it would actually like time would fly by playing this game with him, and it was such a fun way to get to know someone, even if it like even at the time it wasn't, and we weren't even like intentionally dating, we were even just hanging out as friends. um but it takes away the pressure to show up to impress.
I completely agree. And I think the other thing that you've just highlighted there is the absolute importance of reciprocation.
Mm.
Because I do think that sometimes when someone else makes the first move, you think the pressure's all on them to show up. And like, no, this is a conversation. Like, it's got to come back the other way. So, as I alluded to earlier, my partner and I actually did meet on Bumble. And the reason I was so attracted to him was because he was as engaged in keeping up a conversation with me as I was. And we actually ended up chatting before ever meeting up for a full month because of like different circumstances. Like we weren't trying to force that pace or we weren't trying to keep it that slow, but we ended up taking a month. And so every day we would speak. And it meant that we covered all kinds of conversations, all kinds of topics. And my favorite activity that we did was he would send me a piece of music that we realized our musical compatibility super early on, but it meant that it was my invitation to share my piece of music. And then we just had this whole exchange. We ended up building a massive playlist, and it just set the best foundation for when we actually did decide to meet in real life. And I mean, now I live with the guy. So, success story.
I think we covered the gist on this, on how this new feature, the opening moves feature, is really there for you guys to just feel that level of pressure be relieved.
Mm-hmm.
Learn to have fun with meeting people online again. And actually, I love these questions so much that I'm probably going to take them to like just out with friends. It's just a nice way to just to get to know anyone, even on a non-romantic level. Also, a couple of other things that are going to be new with Bumble's relaunch is that they're going to have a security feature, which basically means that people are going to be checked and people are going to be who they say they are. So, no more messy catfish stories, because who has time for that? And they also have a compatibility feature. So basically, it means that things that both parties have in common will be spotlighted in the first frame. And it's not just limited to like artist songs, but it's also going to be interests that you have set on your profile, like cooking, baking, or hiking. All of these things will just help people connect with the same interests. And it all is in hopes of making it easier to start conversations.
It's basically a huge effort to take all of the admin and all of the steps that feel like dating is a chore and make it more enjoyable again. And just to like create tools that make this fun and lighthearted and basically put you in the best mindset possible for meeting someone new.
Also, because you freaking deserve it. Not to discount all the work that I know so many of us have been putting out there over the last few years, just trying to improve, heal, and grow as people. So you actually deserve to meet someone who is worthy of your awesomeness. Anyway, guys, as usual, we would just love to hear from you. Number one, have you made the first move before? What was it like for you? Did it result in a feeling of empowerment? Did it result in the cringiest night of your life? And also, in terms of opening moves, like what is your opening move? What would it be? And has it worked for you yet? Write in. We literally love it when you guys do.
Yes, we want to hear all of your stories in as much detail as possible. And just let us know what your dating experience have been like in general over the last couple years or however long you've been single and putting yourself out there. And we can't wait to hear.
So keep a lookout. We're going to be releasing new episodes of Just So We're Clear as and when we can. But for now, I think that's it for today.
Yeah, so until we chat again, love you lots, love you forever. See you soon.
Bye. Why do I feel like everything's ending in a question mark?
Bye.
See you soon. Next episode.
Will we? See you soon. Bye.
All right, guys. Love you. Bye.
Bye.